Tile roof. This was done for a house down in South Florida. I believe these were like $800,000 worth of tiles that were custom ordered. The house was done and this is what was left over. And then we found out, I guess they found out the house had subsequently been torn down, so they didn't need them anymore and they were throwing them away. But I thought this would be a great example to show the different types of tile systems. One of the questions I get a lot from my customers, especially the ones from Europe, is they're like, why do our tile roofs in Florida last like 15 years and they're failing? But I grew up with a roof on my house in England and it lasted for like 100 years or 500 years, and you know, we barely did anything to it. And this is kind of the why on that. So this is very similar to a tile roof or a slate roof that they would have in England, and this is called a 2/3 exposure tile. As you can see from the pattern here, when this is installed correctly, all you see is diamonds. So that means the entirety of this tile, this much of the tile, is covered by the tile above it. And when these are fully stacked like that, it's pretty much waterproof on its own. There'll still be an underlayment system that goes underneath this, but when this is all packed down on the roof, I mean, this isn't going to anywhere. This is terracotta, not concrete, and it's glazed. So another thing that's notable about terracotta tile over concrete tile is that terracotta tile doesn't really require the same kind of maintenance that a concrete tile does. The terracotta just lasts and weathers for years. Humans have been using this as a roof covering for thousands of years. We know it works, and it works for a long time. So you're asking yourself, why don't we do that here in Central Florida when we're building houses? Well, the answer to the question is, this is incredibly expensive. It's really heavy. It costs a lot of money to produce it. It costs a lot of money to install it. The specific numbers on this is 700 tiles per square. That's per 100 square feet. This cap and pan system is going to be about 300 tiles per square. And then this is going to be what you're going to find on almost every house in Central Florida. This is just like a standard concrete tile. This is a scallop profile. And this is going to be about 70 tiles per square. So this is 70 tiles per square. This is 700 tiles per square. There's a mass that is created by this roof system that just absorbs the weather and the sun and the elements that this just can't compete with. So the reason your roof doesn't last as long as the roofs in England or the roofs overseas is because it's completely different, and it was probably 1/10 the price of doing a proper 2/3 tile roof. So you can see when these tiles are installed, these concrete tiles, so the one thing to note is that these are made out of concrete. They're not made out of terracotta. The concrete is reliant on a coating or a sealant that comes from the manufacturer, whereas the terracotta is just naturally weatherproof, although it does have a sealant on it as well. Once the sealant is removed from this, if the homeowner doesn't do maintenance or reapply a sealant, the concrete tile actually starts to weather and wear away from the acid and the rain and the other elements. So if you look at how the tile interfaces, you know, the standard overlap is just a couple of inches, and the tile goes together like that. So in a heavy driven Florida rain, you know, as much as 30 or 40% of the water is just going to go right through the tiles, even if they're not broken, even if they're installed correctly. You know, a lot of water still goes through the tiles just by how they're stacked. So that means that most of the waterproofing is done by the underlayment, the peel and stick or whatever it is that's underneath that keeps the water out. So if you ever have any failures in that underlayment system, you're going to have water intrusion in the house. So anyway, I hope that was a great explanation of these different types of systems. You know, what a great opportunity to see these kinds of tile in real life. That we don't get this a lot in Florida. But anyhow, if you have any questions, just give us a call, Northmen Roofing. Have a great day.